It will be 5 days per week, and the starting date and everything, right? Related to that, you can talk to Chari. Now I'll start with the demo. I know it will be like too much, but what you will be achieving at the end of the sessions, right? That is something I'll be showing you today. And uh, Streamlit is basically a package of Python which does like front end. So we are using some front end to show that how it works. Okay, because with HTML and jQuery, or I think there are other so many tools are there, but it's really hard for a Python developer to learn all those things. So it's better to run a simple Streamlit, but it's not production. Please don't use for production for sure. The Streamlit, it's only for POCs and demos. I'll just do a simple chartboard. So what this chartboard does is like by the time, it gave this, but what we have given is that this is an Excel sheet of 5 data items. We created something called as Pandas agent, or you can call as a SQL agent, SQL queries. So I have a data which is in Excel sheet, and that's in a structured form. Now it's 5 rows, it's fine, but it's like million rows, or it can be like 1 lakh rows. Then it will be hard for you to search, or hard for a person who doesn't know anything to do the calculations or anything. Right? So what we are doing is basically we are creating a bot which will take our text comments and convert into code, and it will give back the answer. So a simple one will be, yeah. So stream it is here. How many employees exist? See, there are 5 employees in the dataset. If you need more specific, you can ask. Like, how many employees hired after 2020? So there are 2 employees, but to search it, if you go here, you can see that there is a hide date. That's one of the reason it knows. And so 2023 is one person, and 2021 is one person because of the it knows. And again, we can ask something like, how many employees have supervisors? There are 3 employees, and we'll go and check. If you see here, there are supervisors for only for 3 employees. So it's basically whatever we are asking, what it does, right? There is a something called chain of thought prompting, or instruction based prompting. So what happens initially when we ask like how many are there? So it's taking an agent, whatever we created a simple agent. It goes to that agent, hey, I need this information, and it will ask, and the agent, whatever it has given, it summarizes, and whatever it has given like employee IDs or 5 name or 5 position and all. But after that, this data will be going again back to the OpenAI or ChatGPT, and it will summarize for you, and it will be giving that, hey, there are 5 employees. Okay. Or we asked like, hey, how many employees hired after 2020? So this is something it gives back to the OpenAI and also the data. Then it created a simple Python function, okay, Python code. And using that code, it got like, there are, I think, 2 employees. And it has given that, hey, these are the employees, and there are, it gave the data that these are the 2 people. But rather than giving us the complete data to us, it has given like there are 2 employees. Okay. So this is basically, we are reducing the effort, or we are a simple way where this can be used. There will be most of the analysts, cybersecurity analysts, or the financial analysts who doesn't know SQL query, or who doesn't know Python code, right? So if they ask something, the database engineer or a developer will go back and search and gives him back the results. That's how it works. But now we can remove that dependency where the analyst can directly search on a bot like out of 10 tables, he can say that, hey, can you give me this information? It can go back and give the information. But yeah, if your information is something which is not confidential, then you can give it to ChatGPT. But if it's confidential, that is something your company has to decide what we should do. So initially it was a problem. So that's what happened. Like Samsung, I think when ChatGPT announced 2 months or 1 month later, some of the Samsung semiconductors or the processors related data was available in ChatGPT. When they tracked, they understood that some of their employees have used ChatGPT. So that's when ChatGPT also came up with an idea that, hey, if you don't want use your data for training, you can also opt for that functionality. Most of the enterprises will ask the GPT, whatever you're having, or the ChatGPT public one, for sure it will be using for your data for training. But the enterprise data, they won't use it for training so that it won't come out. Okay. So this is one simple demo on that. I just, oh, we can ask that how many joined after. There are no employees again, right? So, and there is another tool called as I'll also show you the another tool. Give me a minute. Pull it up. I'm running a Docker on mine. So if you see here, this tool is basically talks about LangFuse. Basically, whatever the it's a very small line of code which tracks my complete OpenAI calls. So today I have done like 11 total to and fro with the OpenAI. And out of that, like what are the traces? For example, the recent one, you can see the latency, how much time does it took, and what is the cost. Okay. So basically everything is cost, right? Like ChatGPT, I think if you're going with enterprise, your company needs to pay some amount of money for the API calls. So for one of the query, it took like 0.007, but one query, it took like zero point 0.0. That's a high, which I gave mostly. Yeah. Hi, how are you? And it was like, it no need to give back. We already added that anything with greeting, give it back this answer. Okay. So there are tools. This is a LangFuse. This is an open source one, but there is a Langsmith from LangChain. You will be hearing more about LangChain. So the Langsmith is basically not an open source, but it's hosted by those Langsmith people, and it can be hosted on everyone's server, and so that people can track there for this project how much money is going on, for this project how much money is going on, because the API calls, the tokens, and all. Yeah, we'll be talking about tokens later, but so why an API call of this is 12, it's maybe less than 12, 1 cent, but why this is like 0.01 and why this is 0.07? Because how much of text data you're giving to the uh, ChatGPT or OpenAI, that much of only it will be uh, pricing you. Basically, how many tokens you're giving and how many tokens it's outputting, that much only it prices you. It won't, hey, 1,000 calls, not 1,000 rupees, but it will be like how many words. Like for example, it's 1,000 words. That will be the tokens will be approximately 1,500 to 2,000 tokens. So it will be pricing you the that much of amount. As of now, like previously, it was really costly. Now for 1 million tokens, it's around 0.15 cents. Sorry, $0.15. That's 15 cents for 1 million tokens of input, and 1 million tokens of output is around like 30 cents for GPT-4o mini. And there is another tool called as O1 that's really pricey. That's $15. So that's where like DeepSeek really gave a big hit to the ChatGPT, because DeepSeek it's around like 10 cents for the model which they are giving, that's comparison with the oven. That's one of the reason like the shares have been tumbled for last 4 days and 3 days. Yeah. Any questions on this demo or anything?
How did you feed the Excel spreadsheet data to the agent, to the
Oh, yeah.
Streamlit app? Can you just show the?
Give me a minute. I will show you the code, what it does. So we created something called as an agent. So agent is basically the one which monitors, or you can say like a team leader, something like that. Think about it. So the one which tells that, hey, you should use this tool, you should use this tool for this particular purpose. So what we had given as a prompt, I'll also discuss about the prompt engineering, but we told that you're a friendly HR assistant. So we are giving an aura to that bot. You're an HR assistant. Okay. And you need to assist the current user questions. And if a question comes, you should always think what you should do. And the next process it is what action you should take from one of the tools. So this is the tool which we are given, Pandas agent or Pandas tool. And then once the action that, hey, this tool should be used, then for a function, you will give a parameter, right? Similarly, for that tool, you should give the input that hide after 2020, hide after 2024, how many number of employees. That input should be going to that tool. Once we have that tool, given that, the result of that action, right? The result of that tool, uh, we will be giving that and it will be rewriting the answer and it will be giving the answer out. Now, give me a minute. I can go to, yeah. So what I've done, I have created something called as tools. In this, I have written the pandas tool. Okay. So what it does, it's basically whatever the data, whatever the path is there, from there and source, it will be loading this CSV. And then we are using GPT 3.4, 3.5 Turbo. And then we are creating a Pandas data frame agent or a SQL agent you can create. And we are loading that whatever the data frame or that Excel sheet. And we are also giving the LLM, like we are saying that this is the model you should use. Okay. And we are only giving the top one row to the as an input to the chat GPT or the GPT, but we are not giving all the data because if we give all the data, it takes like token limit exceeded or it has a problem with that. Or even giving all the data is not necessary. You can give only one row as a sample. Once we give that, it will be, we're also written like some description that, so whenever someone asks about employee data, please use this. So because of that, this tool will be called every time. And if you go here, I'll also show you invoking the employee data with hide after 2020. Okay. So this is the tool name and it's calling every time. Employee data with count.
So employee data is a tool name. Is that
Yeah,
what?
it's a tool name. You can give any tool name. I just gave us employee data, but the description should be really good
Can you
because,
go back to that code? Just I wanted to see one more time.
yeah.
So you
Oh,
have the tool employee data. Um, so you get the pandas agent here. Okay, dot run. That's how you connect the LLM basically.
yes,
Chat open AI. Okay, so you're connecting the model to the data frame and then giving that a name as a tool.
yes,
Right? So basically you're running an agent on the with a tool basically.
yes. You can call this is an agent. We are converting into a tool. That's basically you have multiple agents. It's called multi-agent chatbot. As of now, we have only single agent, and any like basically server will be connecting with the client, right? Similarly, like agent will be connecting to the tool, or agent will be connecting with the agents. but we just make it to a tool. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can
So
we can we do this with unstructured data as well? I know you are showing for structured data.
yes, happily we can. Uh, your ChatGPT is able to write the queries for the unstructured data, right?
But what kind of
So
queries can you ask on the unstructured data?
we'll go with LangChain. Mostly LangChain for sure. I remember it has like oh, it's going with what is the database? MongoDB. Yep. So there are articles already, but I never got a chance to work with the unstructured data with this because majority of the thing is structured data in mind. But there is unstructured data, what we call that agent already there. So we can use those agents. But see, as the schema description should be really good, we need to give, otherwise it will be not understanding. One of the problem is that these all data will be having a really, what we call that, good naming structures, right? Like for example, this is having employee name, this is having position, this is having organization. So it will easily understand. But if we go to the enterprise level databases, it won't be like that. It will be like, it can be like enterprise underscore TB underscore something like that, right? The table name and also the column name also, it will be like 30 characters, 40 characters. It won't be that simple. That's when you need to give a prompt. I'll just what he has given, right? Hey, user ID, this is unique identifier. Like he has given that for everything, he has given a prompt, a description. Okay, so this will help which column to use, which column not to use by the LLM.
Basically, you're making some kind of structure to it, correct?
Yes, we are giving some knowledge to it, and that knowledge will be used by the LLM, and then it will be giving the results back. And this is one thing. I'll just stop this agent. And then we will be discussing something about another one is called as OLAMA. I'll also give a demo on that. Like, so we talked about text data, right? But what happens if it's image, right? That's when there are models for that. So we can also use images, text, or combine both. Now we'll go with the images, and this is completely not run by ChatGPT or GPT, but it's completely local by something called OLAMA. I'll also explain that what it is. Now, I have loaded some images, okay, and using that images, I converted those images into text, and using those text again, uh, it will be querying and giving the good what are the nearest images. Okay, so if I ask this, so these are some of the basically festival related I asked. So color should be there. But if you ask the same question in the Google Photos, it won't be able to recognize the Holi. So, but yeah, and so it thought like, okay, this is related to the marriage, and it has. So it's not using ChatGPT or anything. It's completely hosted locally. So what are the models which I'm using for this is basically one is Llama 3, that's from Meta or Facebook, and Lava. Basically, this converts image into a text. So whatever the image is there, it will be converting into some text. And on that text, we are using something called as Llama 3 is a competitor for GPT or OpenAI. So we are using that. We can host on our local and Olama run. We can go with DeepSeek also, but we'll go with Llama 3. It really takes time because I have a yeah, I'll just stop some other Dockers. It gives some data. Yeah, we should use GPU based laptops to make it faster. And also this is it takes some time. You see that the chat GPT will be really faster because they have like thousands of GPUs as of now. So the reason of NVIDIA is the share market is moving faster because of they have the GPUs. Okay. So you have a GPU based laptop or GPU based servers. You can host your own LLMs and you can talk to them. So what previously I have done is hosting my own LLM on my local system and running the chart with images, like what are the images are there converted and everything I'm running there. So this is again like completely on the local side. It's really taking time, but if I ask the same thing for ChatGPT, it will be giving in minutes. Okay, so this is one, and then we will go with yeah. Any questions on this on the local LLMs or anything?
So local LLMs are mainly used for POCs, at local level or development. Is that a right
Yes.
statement?
For initial POC, right? Like you have a project, but you can't get the OpenAI token or anything by the project or whatever it is, and you feel that your data is more secure, but you don't want to send it to the OpenAI. Still, the enterprise is still saying that the data is won't be used for training, but still the restricted data or the highly confidential data won't be crossing the servers, right? That's when these local LLMs can be utilized.
So OLAMA is the way to run local LLMs. Is that right?
Yeah, Olama is one of that. Hugging Face is another package. Uh, Now I think you will be hearing something called as Hugging Face most of the times because Hugging Face is open, like GitHub is open source for most of the project, right? Hugging Face is open source for most of the models. So we have like millions of models are there. So as of now, the uh, what we can say this is trending one is DeepSeek, but previously it used to be like Llama 3 or Google Gemini and everything. Sometimes Quen. Quen is also another model from China. And is also really good model previously. And yeah, so you have everything, right? Like again, like these are all models. You have something like, hey, I want something from text to image. These are the models, or image to text. These are the models you can use it. And some video classifications, like all these models are categorized. Okay. And again, data sets are also available. I'll also explain that what are the data sets, why we have need these many data sets, because if you see DeepSeek, the paper, they didn't created a foundational model, but they fine-tuned the foundational model according to them. So it's basically on a particular set of data set they need to train it. So someone can just download this data and train it, or they can create their own data set and also train it.
So what kind of data sets are here?
When you're talking about like it's text, audio, or images, everything is available. What kind of data set means?
It's a broad question, I know, but popular ones like.
For example, Telugu translation, right? Like majority of the what happens, I'll so uh, majority of the algorithms whenever initially given as foundational, most of the training data is on the English, right? Like all the web you see here, maybe you can say that you can categorize like 90% of the data is on English. Maybe a 10% will be of regional language or the language by the national language. So if I have a meta model or the llama model which is trained on 90, or they will also showcase you like how much percentage of data they have trained on each language, but it's not trained on Telugu, or it's not trained on Hindi, it's not trained on Sanskrit or Urdu or anything, right? You can take this data and you can train that foundational model llama 3, and you can convert what it's basically you are giving some more knowledge. Like for example, I read up to 10th class. Now I'm giving training on 11th and 12th class, so I will have some knowledge on 12th, 11th and 12th, right? Similarly, this data is basically a books which we are giving the knowledge to the LLMs. So
Got it. Yeah.
see, someone would have, yeah, you see here, someone trained on the Telugu. Okay. So this is a llama 3. You can download the model, you can train it, and you can again upload it. People can use it, people can't use it. I think you will also know like how many times it got deployed, like 50 downloads have been done in the last 1 month. So this person has created that. I know this is uh, another good source of Telugu LLM labs. So it has everything about like on the data, and also they have their models also. This was really good at the initial. They trained on Gemma is basically Gemini or Google's. So it really, I think fourth or fifth rank it came on that month. So this is a really good model again.
Sounds cool. So what do you generally refer for the trends? How do you learn about the new trends?
Oh, LinkedIn and Reddit. So Reddit has some really good subreddits are there. Like for example, for LangChain is a subreddit is there. RAG is subreddit is there. And because I'm a data scientist from last 10 years, so most of my connections are into the data science. Maybe 70 or 80% of my people are data science. So majority of the people will be keeping posting something about every day. So it's I will know like this methodology is there in LinkedIn, but I won't follow them. But I'll go back. I will use Perplexity again, because Perplexity does on the complete on the search, right? Like every on the world by www, right? So I use Perplexity and it will be explaining me the concept again. And Perplexity also has Reddit as a data source. I hope you guys have already known about Perplexity. It's a really good search engine compared to the Google, if I, as of now, for me.
Yeah, I used it.
Yeah. So I take the methodology, I get the idea, and then I use this Perplexity to make me understand something, and I'll read about it. And what are the data sources it gives, right? The sources also it gives now. So I'll also go to there and read about it.
And what's the duration of this course? Like 6 weeks?
6 to 8 weeks. Sometimes it can extend 1 week. That's the reason like I'm giving you 6 to 8 weeks, because 3 weeks it will be more on the machine learning, 5 weeks will be more on the generative AI completely.
And every day, how long? Like, what's the duration of the
1 hour.
1 hour?
Yeah. Yep. I had given the two demos, but I think at the end of the sessions, right, you will be also using RAG. This is basically on a knowledge base again, right? You can ask questions. Majority of the chatbots or the customer agents, service agents can be reduced by using RAG, or it can also enhance the knowledge. Similarly, like Perplexity is a completely RAG on the World Wide Web search. So, but you need that search engine inside your company. You can use RAG or use that. Yeah. Um, Coming, I think you can ask me questions like, yeah, anything about the demos or anything about the future of this course.
Can you explain what is RAG? I keep hearing about it, but what does it do? How does it help us?
Yeah. So, simple example, what happens basically, you have a data sets, right? Like PDFs or docs or anything, right? PDFs, PPTX and everything. So these are the data source or SharePoint even. In the enterprise, it will be more about SharePoint. So now, for example, if I want to know like how to, my network is not working. So what we used to do previously, we used to, I'm talking about 10 years back. So what we used to do, hey, network my network is having an issue. We create a ticket and we have to manually tell that it's a network issue and the network
AI
engineer will,
కోర్సు గురించి చెప్పుతున్నాడు AI తీసి
yep, hello.
ఎవరో నెట్ లో గ్రేట్ ఆంధ్రాలో
Can you be on mute, please? And so we used to have network as a category and we used to do it. But later machine learning came that and they told that, hey, you tell what is the problem to us, we will classify it, we will categorize it. And but the service engineer will come back and or it will be like basically he will do some reset or he will give some instructions to us. Hey, this, and ticket will be closed. But those things can be done by completely by the generative AI. But how the generative AI knows like what is the issue and how it can solve, because the previous data or the previous knowledge, whatever you have everything in a text files or dockers or text files or documents. You give the data to the as a content to the what we call that OpenAI or the GPT, then it will say the answer. But hey, these are so many documents. I have like 100 pages of documents. How can I give all the 100 pages to the OpenAI? So for those reasons, what they have done is that, for a simple example, you have 100 pages. They told that, hey, convert every page, split every page, and store it in vector databases, VB. Now, the chatbot, whatever is there, will come back to this VB. And what it will be like, it will be talking about network. So what are the similar words are there with network, or what are the words are there with network? Those documents only it will pull. And these 3 or 4 documents will be given to the GPT with your question. Hey, this is my question. This is the knowledge you should use. These are the 3 pages you should use and tell me the answer. So if that question has like GPT will understand that, hey, I know from this that you can use this statement or you can use this instructions and you can solve the problem. Then it will be replying it. But if it doesn't know that, hey, from these documents, I will never understand what it is, what is the question you're asking, then it will say, I don't know the answer. That's a simple RAG. I can show you this particular, this is a web page, which is having everything about LLMs and talking about like prompt engineering and everything. Now, what we have done is that we converted this data and split into some chunks. As I told, right, we convert everything split into some pages. So we are converting and splitting into some chunks of data because we can't give all the web page to the ChatGPT. And then once we do that, we are using ChromaDB and we are storing our data inside that ChromaDB. ChromaDB is a vector database. We are storing it. Once that is done, we are asking that, hey, You are an AI language model assistant. Your task is to answer the questions. So we are asking, we will give you the context and we'll also give you the question. Now you need to answer it. So how it was done? Basically, what are the questions we are giving? It will retrieve 3 documents from that or 3 paragraphs from that. Okay. And those 3 paragraphs as a context it gives. And for example, I have asked like, what is A? So it has given like 3 documents. And once given the 3 documents, it will be able to answer the question. Okay. So for example, it has given that by using those 3 documents, it gave that AI is refers to the capability of a computer, but it's only related to that document. It's not related to the ChatGPT's knowledge. Okay. But in the previous one, what happened? I have written only about AI, but I asked like how to prepare biryani. Still, it was able to give me the answers because sometimes it hallucinates and it says that, hey, I know this answer. So for those reasons, what we told that, hey, you're an assistant, but use only this following retrieved context to answer the questions. But if you don't know the answer, just say don't know and use only 3 sentences maximum and keep the answer precise or concise. So now if I ask like, hey, how to prepare biryani, what it does, so I think it should not, it will say that I don't know the answer. Okay. So I can run it from the scratch. So this is a RAG we built on a knowledge databases. And this is a very simple RAG. There is something called as hybrid RAG, contextual RAG, query translation based RAG, parent-child RAG, multiple methodologies, right? So because one methodology will be working for one set of data, we should use another methodology or we should do, it should be improving. So I think every 3 months, 4 months, a new methodology comes, but the initial one, RAG itself, the skeleton is same for everything. Goes to the vector databases, gets the data, answers the question. That's it. Yep. Any questions?
Thanks, Pradeep. I have a couple of questions.
Yep. Please. Hi, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? This is
Yeah, I
Pradeep.
can. Yeah, Pradeep. Yeah, tell me.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I come from a ERP background, so I just want to understand like how can someone with ERP or Workday background can transition into these AI generate or Gen AI or AI related roles?
So I may not be completely say that, but there are some test engineers or there are some Java-based developers in our company who transitioned into Gen AI because it's a as I told, right? Like if you see the number of code of lines, it's really smaller.
Mhm.
But you should understand the concept and but you should have a project or you should internally transfer, and that will make you easier. Or you should have your own repos like Hugging Face, right? For example, whatever I shown the Hugging Face, so you can show
Mhm.
some of your models here, you can show some of your work here. That will also help in people getting into the generative AI. But it won't be like, hey, I learned this course, I will be able to do the generative AI. I won't say that, hey, all the ERP can go with this course and it will be done. But you should do your work. By that, you should have your own GitHub repo, you have your own Hugging Face uh, repo. That will help you boost your chances.
Okay, right. So you're suggesting imbibing this into the domains that we work on, right? So it just kind
Yes.
of add on.
Yeah.
And how different is this course from others that are selling in the market? So is it more based on some practical? I heard you saying that 40% practical and 60% of theoretical, something other way around. So how does it vary from others in the market?
So I'm not sure. I didn't go through of any of the courses like what's there in the market as of now, but I can say that I'll be going with all the RAG architectures, and I'll be going with what is there inside the LLMs, as I told, right? I can't go directly to the generative AI, so that you will never know like what is machine learning. That you go to a company's interview, they will ask like machine learning question. You will be like, hey, I'm a generative engineer. It won't work. So I'll make sure that you can answer both of the things in this particular, and but you should work on your skills also at the same time.
Okay, sure. Are there any certifications or any things of that sort to support this Gen AI or the artificial intelligence trainings that we're taking? So would that be helpful? Are there any certifications first in place? And if they are, so will that help in the interviews? Are they looking for that at least?
One thing I can say, like people won't go with the certifications for sure. What I
Mhm.
heard, because that's one of the reason I didn't do certifications anything after these many years. But Databricks as of now, because once I'm hearing, some of the certifications are there. You see here, generative fundamentals or data science also related. It has. So Databricks is something good. That's one good certificate, or AWS related one also. Maybe mostly they would have given by now. But I say that rather than going with these certifications, as I told, right, keep a repository, because everyone may do a certificate, or every 2 years you need to update it. But the repository, or you're able to show your projects, or you're able to show your work, will help more.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. One last question, probably if you can answer. So once we complete the course, are we going to create a model on our own, or what is the ultimate thing? Are we be a prompt engineer? Are we going to be understanding how to give the prompts and design the code? So what is the ultimate thing that we're going to do for this?
So the end of the course, you will be building your own model for sure. As I told, right, I will be showing you fine tuning of a foundational model like Llama or DeepSeek, whatever is there, right?
Mhm.
So that will be there. At the same time, you will be also learning some prompt engineering techniques, because without the prompt engineering techniques, RAG also doesn't work. Okay. So, and I'll be also explaining those prompt engineering techniques, and then RAG architectures. As of now, like maybe 8 to 10 or 6 to 9, maybe something around are there RAG architectures, if I remember. I will explain all those RAG architectures to you guys. Basically, you can do a demo, or you can make your own chatbot, and you can see that how it works. The Streamlit, right? Whatever I'm showing. So these are some things you can do it by the end of the demo. So end of the session.
Great. Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Hey, I have a question. Actually, thanks for the nice presentation here. I'm also like a previous speaker from a non data science background. Uh, at the end of this, what kind of roles can we apply these skills for? After let's say we do all the prerequisites that you're suggesting. So what kind of roles can we shoot this for? Because there are a lot of things in this, right?
Okay. Mostly related to the generative AI engineers, and data scientists with generative AI, and some if you're able to have some architect knowledge or background of architect knowledge, maybe you can also, because end of the day, architecture is basically about security and everything, and what tools you need to use. So I'll be going to explain what tools you need to use for generative AI. So you can also try for generative AI architect if you have an architect knowledge. I hope I able to answer the question.
Yeah, thank you. So will you be able to can we expect your help with our preparation for that, for the roles? If so, how much can you help us, in landing the roles, or in
On landing the roles and everything, Chari can discuss with you. But I will be helping you in the, as I told, right, a repo in the Hugging Face and the GitHub, and also I'll be helping you in your resume proofreading and everything. But I won't change everyone. I can't change like every line by line, but I can help you, and also I can help you with the project, right? Like for example, you need to keep a generative AI project before going into the market. I can help you that project, and I can say that the architecture of that project, how it goes and how it is the end result, and what is the business value and all these things.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, will you be having any recording of this? I missed most of the starting part. Just wanted to check on some prereqs for this.
There is a recording available. I think Chari will be. You can connect with Chari, and he will be able to provide you the recording.
I mean, I just click on the Zoom link. I didn't register. So if you can like ping in this chat whom to contact, we can check on that.
Okay, I think he's already in that. I'll ask him to.
One more question, please.
Yep, I think you got the enrollment form. You can fill that. Yes, please.
Do we use freely available models, or we need to purchase any, suppose if I want to use ChatGPT, that token is not free, right? I can use only up to some extent. So do I need to purchase anything, or?
I can give you that, like hardly $2 or $3 of money can be given for this complete course of ChatGPT, and also the other one is called as Anthropic, which I told, right? So maybe hardly like $2 to $3, or even less than that. I'll say it's less than $1, but I just want to give you like $3. You think the highest you can keep it?
Okay. So OpenAI token and all you will give us during the course?
I won't be able to give you, but you need to register. I think give me a minute. I'll just open that. OpenAI. Yeah. So you need to register on the OpenAI platform, and
Okay.
they will be giving you like you need to keep like hardly like $3. You can give beforehand itself, so that you can give. I can show you my. See, this is like 4 months or 5 months back. There is already I had given another course before, and it took only like 60 cents or 70 cents as of now from the OpenAI side. So because as I told, right, like a million tokens, it hardly takes 15 cents now. It's reduced drastically. But if you use, there are other models also. I use like Mini 4 Mini, but you use O1, that's $15 for million tokens. So according to the model, but make sure that you use a better model, like less expensive model, it will be taking less.
Okay. What is the cost for this course? Total cost?
Chari will be able to provide you that again on the
Okay.
cost.
Hello, this is Chari. So I think you noticed the Google form. If you can fill that Google form, I can share you the course curriculum and the details to your mail ID.
I already registered in the morning, in the afternoon. So again,
Yes, I'll share you. I'll share you the course curriculum and the course fees details and schedule and everything. You can notice
Okay.
there.
Okay then.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, I have one question here.
Yes.
It's a general question. I'm new to all these AI and all this area, but my question is, in the AI world, I'm hearing, three different things, right? One is AI ML, another is data science, and the other thing is AI agents and all these things. So, okay, let's choose this AI agent. How much knowledge do you need from each area? Do you need to be how good you need to be at AI ML or data sciences to excel in this AI agent course or whatever you are teaching now, or how much knowledge you need for to become an AI ML engineer? How much knowledge you require from data sciences or AI agent? Vice versa. All these three things relatively.
Okay, so you talked about like three things, but two are cumulative. I can say like data science and ML is a cumulative. Like ML is a part of data science, or AI is part of data science.
Okay.
It's basically ML will be on the project, but artificial intelligence will be on the PPT. If you want to sell it, it will be artificial intelligence is really better rather than machine learning. Right? That's how it works.
Okay.
And coming to on the data scientist of ML engineer, it really takes maybe like 2 to 3 months of time per day, 1 hour. Okay, so that you will be completely well versed and you will get to know. But as I told, right, like we won't be able to give that much, of course. So the initial data science and ML, we will be giving you the initial boost for 3 weeks. Okay, on the generative AI, hardly you need like 2 months.
Okay, let me ask the same question again in a different way. So let us say I'm taking this AI Gen course. If I wanted to be really good at this, how much knowledge of Python and how much knowledge of machine learning or language models that you are talking about, how deep I need to know about those?
For generative AI engineer, you
Yeah.
need to know more about NLP. That's what we will be discussing. Okay, so you no need to have the background knowledge, but we will be discussing everything about NLP in these sessions. And on the Python side, that's the easiest language you will ever see. If you talk to any of the Python engineer or any of the memes you see about languages, it's a 2 days or 3 days course. If you know Java, or if you know C also.
Actually,
Yeah.
I'm working as a Java architect, J2E architect. So yeah,
it will be like piece of cake for you guys. Like really, I'm saying like, oh, this is Python. That's it. You feel there is only one issue: indentation. Python doesn't have indentation. It's I think semicolon if I remember. But Python is really easy for Java guys.
And also, do you really need an in-depth knowledge of statistics and probability for this?
Not for the generative AI, you don't need the complete in-depth knowledge of statistics and probability. For machine learning or the data scientist, right?
Okay, got it.
For that, you may need some bit of statistics.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, any last questions? We can close the call. I know it's Friday, so everyone
Would
can
you be
enjoy their
covering anything related to agentic AI or just AI agents?
Oh, agentic RAG is something is there. We will be covering that as a RAG architecture, agentic RAG. And when you're talking about agentic AI, is basically about connecting agents with tools or agent with RAGs, right? We will be covering that.
Okay.
One question from my side. What is the expectation for the job roles? What kind of experience or what kind of tool set they would be looking forward for Gen AI person who analyst or whatever?
How do you solve a problem? Like for example, I'm giving you a simple classification problem. It can be done with machine learning, but at the same time, it can be done with generative AI. So which one you will pick it up? How do you solve the problem? And how much business value will be given by solving that? Like for example, as I told, right, like simple ML model will be easily deployable, but the GPT will be every day. It will be costing, right? So those will be the aspects. And another thing is that uh, uh, how much knowledge you have on the generative AI principles. Okay, what is prompt engineering? What is RAG? What is fine tuning? These are the three concepts which are ruling as of now. Fine tuning is very less number of people will be using because everyone needs a GPU. But RAG and prompt engineering, everyone can use even a very 4 GB or 8 GB of laptop. So the people will expect more of you to understand RAG principles, prompt engineering principles, and the basic understanding of fine tuning.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, guys, have a great weekend. Chari will be able to connect with you guys on the sessions and everything. Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.